what's up to Casey? I know y'all haven't seen her in a while. Family, it's your girl Chris.
And Mwanji.
We're pretty much just gonna give you guys story time on our ectopic pregnancy, which happened in 2016. But before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up.
You messed up anyway.
What did I say?
It was in 2015.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was my first year working.
It was in 2016, Mark.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
You should know that.
Okay. Restart it.
No.
Say it like that.
Because he tried to play it off like he didn't know when it was or whatever in 2015.
Why you gotta say on that?
Because that's what happened just now.
No.
He trying to say that it happened in 2015 and it's in 2016.
And I already said, my bad.
Anyway, ectopic pregnancy, which happened in 2016.
She's not doing it by herself no more.
Which happened in 2016. So what pretty much happened was I was cramping real bad, and I was like in the bathroom, like on my knees crying, about to like really pass the fuck out, not even know what's going on. I just didn't know what was wrong. We kind of let that slide for a few days, and I was just in hella pain. We didn't think I was pregnant because I had just had my period about maybe a week prior to this whole situation. So like I said, days kept passing by, and I was just like in pain. And then finally we went to the hospital. And as I'm sitting at the hospital, the guy told me, like, this is all in one breath, like, were you trying to get pregnant? And I was like, no, which we was, but, you know, you always say no. And then he was like, oh, where you are? And I was like, oh, and he was like, but judging by what you're telling me, we think you're going through a miscarriage.
And while all that's going on, I'm at work. The whole week prior, I've been telling her, take a pregnancy test. She at work, smelling smells, throwing up when she usually don't. And then I'll go to work, she ended up taking the test. Right? Anyway, she took the test, found out she was pregnant. And that's when she calls me while I'm at work and tells me that she's pregnant. I was so excited. I haven't quit smoking. Like, I had a fresh pack of cigarettes, I threw it on the ground outside my job. And then, basically, that's when she ended up going to the hospital, and they gave us that sad news.
Yes. So they sent me home pretty much that day, which is like, you know, you're going through a miscarriage. So that was the first time I went to the hospital, and they sent me home. So the second time, I think the next day I was bleeding, but they never said that I was fully miscarrying a baby. They're like, it's looking like, you know, you might be or whatever. So I'm still thinking, like, I could be pregnant, like, who knows, you know, we're trying to be cautious. So I called either my mom or my sister, and I'm like, I'm bleeding. So we go back to the doctors. The doctor was real rude. He was like, I already told you, you know, you're going through a miscarriage, blah, 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 blah. And he sends me home again. At this time, we don't really know what's going on. All we know is we're going through a miscarriage, but plenty of people that goes through miscarriages, they either give you a pill to finish it out or, you know, anything. He didn't give me anything. They pretty much just send me home like, oh, you're going through a miscarriage. So one night, I was spending at my mom's house, and it had woke me up out of my sleep at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like crying. And then my sister hears me, so she's like going crazy, wakes up my mom, like, you know, something's really going on with Chris. So my mom calls the doctors, and she cussed them out like, y'all better get my baby in bed. There's something wrong with my baby. So on and so forth. So I go back to the hospital it's like 6 o'clock at this point by the time my mom had done called and had her coffee and blah, blah, blah. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and we go to the hospital. They got a bed waiting for me and everything. Like, I don't have to wait or anything because, like I said, my mom called prior to me getting there. So then they do a whole bunch of these tests. They do a CAT scan. We do a vaginal ultrasound where they tell me, like, there is no baby. Like, they don't see any baby, but they do see, like, baby residue or, like, blood or whatever behind my uterus. So, like, they're like, you definitely had a miscarriage. So we're thinking everything's good still. So then we finally get the CAT scan, and the lady comes in, the surgeon comes in, and she's like, oh, there's a baby in your tube, but it looks like your body is getting rid of it on its own. And she proceeds to tell me that she can do the surgery, but she don't want to mess anything up. Like, who gonna go through with a surgery once somebody said, like, you're a surgeon, you're telling me that my body, first of all, how is my body getting rid of an egg stuck in my tube? We're gonna start there. But anyway, she's like, my body's getting rid of it, and to just go home pretty much and die, because that's exactly what I was doing. I was dying. So we called my dad, who lives in San Leandro at the time, and he's like, I'm coming to get you.
And remind you, this before he even came down to pick her up to take her down to Oakland to Kaiser. This was going on for about 2 or 3 weeks straight about her going to the hospital and coming home. They saying there's nothing wrong, everything's fine. Yes,
the first time I went to the doctors, I was either 3 or 4 weeks pregnant. By the time they finally fixed me and I was no longer pregnant anymore, I was like 7 weeks pregnant. So I went through that pain all that time going through. So like I said, my dad drives up to get me. He drives me back down to San Leandro. That's where our insurance was anyway, Kaiser. And I kid you guys not, everything that I went through that whole month up at this Mercy Medical Hospital, pain and them just sending me home and telling me I'm okay and all that, they did everything in one night. I went there, I had a vaginal ultrasound, I had a regular ultrasound, and they're like, you need immediate surgery. Like, you have 3 blood, well, this is what they found out after, but I had like 3 blood clots in my tube, and like I was pretty much about to rupture.
It did rupture.
It happened. It didn't happen before the surgery though, because I would have felt it. So if it ruptured, it must have happened either when I was already put to sleep or something like that, because I would have felt that.
Yeah, they said that basically she would have died if we didn't go to Oakland, and she would have died.
Definitely would have died. Like, these people was trying to kill me, sending me home, talk about my body is getting rid of the egg out of my tube. What?
And then come to find out, the other baby, because it was twins, was still behind her uterus still.
Yeah, and that's where the first doctor initially saw, like, this, like they said it was like blood and shit behind my uterus. That's what the doctor was talking about. So anyways, me and Malark are at the hospital waiting. You know, the lady that actually does the vaginal ultrasound, she can't tell me what's going on. She has to wait for the doctor. So, but I already know what's going on, because like I said, the doctor prior had already told me that there was a tube. I mean, the egg was still in my tube. So she's not telling me what's going on or whatever. So by the time the doctor comes, she's like, we need to get you into emergency surgery. So they take me up there. I was real nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was kind of scared. I ain't never had no type of surgery. I ain't never had a cavity. You know what I mean? Like, I was extremely scared. And then of course my mom comes smelling like my mom. You know, your mom, how your mom smells, praying. You know, so that made me even more like on the edge, about to cry. So when we get up there, only thing I remember about my surgery is them hooking the, I'm guessing, anesthesia to my IV. And I remember looking at my hand like, this shit is cold. Like, it was cold going through my veins. And then the next thing I knew, I was waking up. And the doctors pretty much told my husband, who was my fiance at the time, and my mom and my dad what was going on with me. What did she say? What did she say?
Oh, they just told me that she had a ruptured tube. Her tube had ruptured, and there's a little scarring on her other tube still, but it's still functional. And she said in the future, if she does get pregnant again, you got to make sure she stays in bed or go straight to the hospital and mandatory bed rest. That's pretty much
and
it.
then that is when I actually found out and was diagnosed with endometriosis, because, you know, she was in my stomach. I always knew something was wrong with me because, like I said, I had horrible periods, but I never knew I had endometriosis until 2016 when I had this surgery. I also lost a tube. I thought he was going to tell y'all that, but
I just did.
I didn't hear it. Anyways, I also lost a tube.
Guys, did I not just say that they said that she
Comment
lost
down
a tube
below if he said
and
it, but
still had scarring on the other tube?
I don't remember hearing him say that. Anyways, I lost a tube. I'm only working with 1 tube right now. I have not been pregnant since, and we're just pretty much working towards that. Anything you want to say?
We are starting a GoFundMe, and once that's up and operational, we'll give you more information about it if you guys would like to help us.
Yes, I've always was like a little iffy about the GoFundMe because I don't know. My mama has always told me not to beg. Like I could, as a kid, I could be at my friend's house, and they can be cooking, and they can ask me if I'm hungry. I can be starving, and I'll tell them no and wait till I get home to eat. That's just how I was raised. So we've been talking about GoFundMe for a while, and it just like never happened. But
I have an account ready. Everything's set up. It's just that we have to do our introduction for it. And that's about it.
Yeah. And I don't want nobody to think that I want sympathy.
And we don't know what price range to do because we don't want to be asking for too much or too little.
Right.
And basically, I did some research on it, and it was like one said the minimum is like 15,000, but then next you know it was some more fees that they said we have to pay for as far as like medicine and stuff like that you would have to take, and it was like added on another 5,000. And then there was another site that said minimum cost is 30,000, and then yeah, so we're just still trying to do more research on it before we get started.
I'm shooting more towards in vitro. Like I want them to take my egg and his sperm, already fertilized egg, and just place it where it needs to be. And I honestly do want to carry my own baby, but if not, I'm down with surrogacy. I feel like I want to adopt now. That's like my main goal. We're planning to move to Vegas, and once we get to Vegas, I think that's when I'm really going to be like, I don't care what no one says, including him, I'm adopting a baby. I always said I was going to wait till I was 30, but it's like, I don't feel like I should have to stick to that when it comes to being a mother. If I feel like I want to be a mother now, I should be able to be a mother now. So I'm a baby now. I feel like when, first of all, let me tell you guys, when I said I'll wait until I'm 30 to adopt, I was what, 24, 25? Like, come on now, I'm 28 years old, and I'm ready for a baby. And that's just where we are with that. Also, while I got you guys here, I want to let you guys know to go check out keepitvertical.org and use the promo code Thang for free shipping. She has a lot of cool things from mugs, necklaces, shirts, workout outfits, swimwear, everything, and it's really dope. It's a very uplifting site at that. It's about keeping your spirits lifted and keeping it vertical, which we all know what that means. So you guys should go check it out. Don't forget to use the promo code Thang. Everything will be in the description below. These shirts we have on, show me your shirt, babe. You can't really see it because it's pink, but that says Black Lives Matter. It says Black Lives Matter, as you guys can see. That information to order shirts like this will be in the description below too. I don't think it has to be Black Lives Matter. You can tell whatever type of shirt you want to make, and she'll make it for it, pretty much. That's how that goes. Anything else you want to say?
That's it.
Alright, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you are new. And turn on your post notifications so you're notified every time we post. And as always, we love you guys, and God bless.
See you.